Ladies and gentlemen, today let's delve into a topic that might make us squirm a bit. 5 reasons why people secretly hate you. Now, I know the title sounds harsh, but bear with me. Understanding these reasons can help us grow and foster better relationships. When we think about perception versus reality, we must acknowledge the powerful role that first impressions and preconceived notions play in how we are viewed by others. Often, people form opinions about us based on limited information or their own experiences rather than who we truly are. This disconnect can lead to misunderstandings that are hard to bridge. Consider the confident individual who walks into a room radiating self-assuredness. To some, this may appear as arrogance, a sense of superiority that rubs them the wrong way. Meanwhile, that same individual might just be trying to overcome their own insecurities or simply navigate a challenging social setting. This illustrates how our internal struggles can create a facade that others misinterpret. Moreover, our social environments shape how we are perceived. Factors such as cultural backgrounds, social norms, and even current events can color someone's viewpoint. For instance, a person might view direct communication as a sign of confidence, while another might see it as confrontational. This variation in interpretation can lead to conflict and resentment, often without either party fully understanding why. Additionally, we must consider the impact of gossip and rumor. Often what we think we know about someone is based on hearsay rather than personal experience. If someone hears negative things about us from others, it can taint their perception before they even have a chance to interact with us directly. This ripple effect can be damaging and difficult to reverse. Ultimately, navigating the landscape of perception versus reality is complex. It challenges us to be mindful of how we present ourselves and how we interpret the actions of others. In this journey, empathy plays a crucial role, allowing us to dig deeper and seek understanding beyond the surface. Jealousy is a powerful and often destructive emotion that can manifest in many ways, significantly impacting our relationships. At its core, jealousy arises when we perceive a threat to something we value, be it a relationship, status, or achievement. It can create a sense of inadequacy and insecurity, prompting individuals to harbor resentment toward those they believe have what they lack. Consider the scenario of a colleague receiving a promotion. While this individual might have worked hard and earned the recognition, others may feel envious, interpreting the promotion as a reflection of their own shortcomings. This feeling can lead to negative behaviors, such as gossip or passive-aggressive remarks, which only serve to further strain workplace dynamics. Jealousy can also stem from comparisons, especially in today's social media-driven world. We're bombarded with images and stories of seemingly perfect lives, ideal vacations, flawless relationships, and career milestones. It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring our worth against these curated highlights. When we perceive that others are living the life we desire, it can breed resentment and a sense of betrayal, even if those feelings are unfounded. Moreover, jealousy isn't just limited to professional contexts. It can permeate personal relationships as well. For example, a friend may feel threatened by another's new friendship or romantic relationship. Instead of celebrating the joy of the other person, they may withdraw or lash out, allowing jealousy to create distance. This emotional turmoil often leads to a vicious cycle where jealousy breeds mistrust, and mistrust further exacerbates jealousy. Additionally, the roots of jealousy often lie in our own insecurities. When we don't feel confident in our own worth or achievements, we may project our feelings onto others, interpreting their successes as a direct challenge to our self-esteem. This self-reflection can be uncomfortable, but it is crucial for understanding the dynamics of our relationships. Jealousy can also be subtle and insidious. It can manifest as a lack of support for others' successes, even if it's unintentional. This behavior can stem from a desire to protect one's own sense of identity and worth, leading to a reluctance to celebrate others' achievements. The inability to genuinely support someone else can breed resentment and distance, impacting both parties involved. In essence, jealousy can warp our perceptions and hinder our ability to connect with others. Recognizing it within ourselves and acknowledging its impact on our relationships is a vital step in breaking free from its grip. By understanding the underlying causes and addressing our insecurities, we can foster healthier connections built on mutual support and respect. Communication gaps are a common source of misunderstanding and conflict in relationships, whether personal or professional. These gaps occur when there is a disconnect between what one person intends to convey and how that message is received by others. Often this misalignment can lead to feelings of resentment, frustration, and even hidden animosity. One primary reason for communication gaps is differing communication styles. Individuals may have unique ways of expressing themselves based on their backgrounds, personalities, or cultural influences. For instance, someone who values directness may come off as blunt to someone who prefers a more nuanced approach. This disparity can lead to misinterpretation, where the direct communicator is perceived as rude and the more subtle communicator is seen as evasive. Another significant factor is the context in which communication occurs. Stressful situations, time constraints, or distractions can greatly affect how messages are conveyed and received. In high-pressure environments, individuals may resort to shorthand or even aggressive language, which can be misinterpreted as hostility rather than urgency. Similarly, when communicating in a group setting, one person's contribution can easily be drowned out, leaving others feeling unheard or undervalued. Nonverbal communication also plays a crucial role in how messages are interpreted. Body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice can convey meaning far beyond words. A slight change in demeanor or a sarcastic tone can transform the intent of a message entirely. When these nonverbal cues are not aligned with verbal communication, it creates confusion and can lead to misunderstandings. Additionally, assumptions and expectations can contribute to communication gaps. People often operate under the belief that others share their knowledge or perspectives. For example, if one person assumes that everyone understands a specific reference or context, they may communicate in a way that alienates those who do not. This assumption can leave others feeling excluded and frustrated, further widening the gap. Digital communication has also introduced new challenges. With the rise of text messaging, emails, and social media, nuances can easily be lost. The absence of physical presence means that tone and body language are often stripped away, making it easier for messages to be misread. A simple message intended as lighthearted can be perceived as harsh or dismissive when read without context. Lastly, the emotional state of the individuals involved can greatly influence communication effectiveness. If someone is feeling defensive, anxious, or overwhelmed, they may misinterpret neutral statements as personal attacks. Conversely, if a person is in a good place emotionally, they may be more open to feedback and constructive criticism. This variability can create an unpredictable environment where communication is strained and relationships suffer. Recognizing these potential gaps in communication is essential for fostering understanding and connection. Being proactive in seeking clarity, Actively listening and checking in with others can help bridge these divides, allowing for more meaningful interactions. By addressing the nuances of communication and striving for openness, we can create a more harmonious environment where everyone feels heard and valued. End quote. Social comparison is a psychological phenomenon where individuals evaluate themselves against others to determine their own worth and abilities. This tendency is deeply rooted in human nature and can profoundly impact our self-esteem, relationships, and overall mental well-being. While comparing ourselves to others can sometimes serve as a motivational tool, it often leads to feelings of inadequacy and resentment. In today's world, social media amplifies the effects of social comparison. Platforms like Instagram and Facebook present curated snapshots of people's lives, often showcasing only their successes and happiest moments. This creates an illusion of perfection that is difficult to measure up to. As we scroll through carefully crafted images and success stories, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that everyone else is living a better life. This perception can lead to envy and dissatisfaction with our own circumstances. That's too bad, because I want something better. Moreover, social comparison can manifest in various forms, such as upward and downward comparison. Upward comparison occurs when we compare ourselves to those we perceive as better off or more successful. This often leaves us feeling inferior and discouraged as we focus on what we lack rather than recognizing our unique strengths and achievements. Conversely, downward comparison involves measuring ourselves against those we perceive as worse off, which can temporarily boost our self-esteem, but often reinforces a sense of elitism or entitlement. The emotional toll of social comparison can also affect our relationships. When we constantly compare ourselves to friends or colleagues, it can create a rift. For instance, if one person achieves a milestone, others may feel envious instead of celebratory. This can lead to jealousy, strained interactions, and a lack of support, which ultimately diminishes the quality of our connections. Cultural factors also play a significant role in how we engage in social comparison. In cultures that emphasize individual achievement and competition, the pressure to compare oneself to others can be particularly intense. This pressure can drive people to adopt unhealthy habits, such as perfectionism or burnout, as they strive to meet perceived standards. In contrast, cultures that prioritize community and collaboration may foster a more supportive environment where individuals celebrate collective achievements rather than engaging in divisive comparisons. Additionally, personal insecurities can heighten our tendency to engage in social comparison. When we are not confident in our own abilities or accomplishments, we may look to others for validation. This reliance on external comparisons can create a vicious cycle where our self-worth becomes increasingly tied to how we measure up against others. Instead of cultivating self-acceptance and appreciation for our unique paths, we become entrenched in a cycle of envy and dissatisfaction. Understanding the dynamics of social comparison is crucial for fostering healthier perspectives and relationships. By acknowledging the impact it can have on our emotions and interactions, we can work toward creating a mindset that values individual journeys. Shifting our focus from comparison to self-reflection and gratitude allows us to appreciate our own accomplishments and those of others without falling into the trap of envy. Personal insecurities are deeply rooted feelings of self-doubt and inadequacy that can significantly shape our perceptions and interactions with others. These insecurities often stem from a variety of sources, including past experiences, societal expectations, and internalized beliefs about ourselves. When individuals grapple with insecurities, they may project these feelings onto others, leading to misunderstandings and hidden animosities. One major source of personal insecurities is early life experiences. Childhood environments, such as family dynamics, peer relationships, and academic pressures, can shape how we view ourselves. For example, a child who constantly receives criticism may grow up feeling unworthy or inadequate. These formative experiences can leave lasting impressions, causing individuals to carry these feelings into adulthood and impacting their relationships with others. Societal standards also play a crucial role in exacerbating personal insecurities. Media portrayals of success, beauty, and happiness can create unrealistic benchmarks that many feel they must meet. When people perceive themselves as falling short of these ideals, it can lead to feelings of jealousy or resentment toward those who seem to embody these qualities. Lastly, this comparison can become a breeding ground for negativity as insecurities fuel a desire to undermine others, to elevate one's own self-esteem. Insecurities can manifest in various ways, including through defensive behaviors or passive aggressiveness. For instance, someone who feels insecure about their career may react with hostility toward a colleague who receives recognition. Instead of celebrating that colleague's success, the insecure individual may dismiss their achievements or make negative comments, all in an attempt to cope with their feelings of inadequacy. This projection creates a toxic environment where support and camaraderie are replaced by suspicion and rivalry. Because even though there's a leader or leaders, the next leader has to be the worst one. Additionally, the impact of social media on personal insecurities cannot be overstated. With constant access to curated representations of others' lives, individuals are bombarded with images that can trigger feelings of inadequacy. The perpetual cycle of scrolling through perfect photographs and success stories can amplify self-doubt, making it even harder to maintain a healthy self-perception. This online comparison often leads to feelings of isolation, as individuals may struggle to reconcile their own realities with the seemingly flawless lives they observe. Furthermore, personal insecurities can lead to a fear of vulnerability, which stifles authentic communication and connection. When individuals are unwilling to share their true selves, fearing judgment or rejection, they create barriers that prevent meaningful relationships from forming. This fear can manifest in a reluctance to express emotions or to seek support from others, perpetuating a cycle of loneliness and misunderstanding. Understanding the roots and ramifications of personal insecurities is crucial for fostering self-acceptance and compassion. Recognizing that everyone grapples with their own doubts and fears can help us cultivate empathy toward others. By addressing these insecurities, individuals can work toward building healthier relationships, both with themselves and with those around them. Boundary issues arise when personal limits regarding emotional, physical, or psychological space are not respected or understood, leading to discomfort, resentment, or conflict in relationships. These boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy interactions and ensuring that individuals feel safe and valued. When boundaries are blurred or violated, it can create tension and contribute to hidden animosities. One of the primary causes of boundary issues is a lack of clear communication. People may have different expectations regarding what is acceptable behavior, often stemming from cultural backgrounds, personal experiences, or differing values. For instance, one person might feel comfortable sharing personal details, while another may consider such openness intrusive. When these differences are not addressed, misunderstandings can arise, leading to feelings of discomfort or resentment. Additionally, boundary issues often stem from past experiences. Individuals who have faced trauma or have been in unhealthy relationships may struggle to establish and maintain boundaries. They might find it challenging to assert their needs or might feel guilty for wanting space, leading to a pattern of overextension and emotional exhaustion. Stimp. This struggle can create a cycle where they feel taken advantage of, which in turn may lead to a buildup of negative feelings toward those who seem unaware of their boundaries. Emotional boundaries are particularly susceptible to infringement. For example, if a friend frequently seeks emotional support without reciprocating, the other person may feel drained and unappreciated. Over time, this imbalance can lead to resentment, especially if the person providing support feels their own needs are consistently sidelined. Such emotional exhaustion can warp perceptions, making it easy to harbor negative feelings towards someone who may not even realize the dynamic at play. Anyway, in professional settings, boundary issues can manifest through role confusion. For instance, when colleagues do not respect each other's responsibilities, it can lead to frustration. A situation may arise where one employee feels overwhelmed because they are constantly asked to take on tasks that do not fall within their job description. This disregard for professional boundaries can create animosity and can hinder collaboration, as individuals may start to see each other as sources of stress rather than allies. Moreover, technology has introduced new challenges in maintaining boundaries. The ability to communicate at all hours through texts, emails, and social media can blur the lines between personal and professional life. When someone feels pressured to respond outside of work hours or to engage in conversations that invade their personal space, it can lead to feelings of frustration and resentment. These pressures can erode the trust and respect that are vital for healthy relationships. The inability to set or respect boundaries can also lead to feelings of dependency, where one person may rely too heavily on another for emotional support, validation, or guidance. This imbalance can create a power dynamic that is unhealthy and unsustainable. Over time, the individual who feels burdened by the dependence may develop negative feelings toward the other person, even if those feelings are unacknowledged. Recognizing and addressing boundary issues is vital for creating an environment of mutual respect and understanding. By fostering open communication and encouraging self-awareness, individuals can begin to establish healthier dynamics in their relationships, ultimately reducing the likelihood of resentment and hidden animosity.